There's a secret that's been hidden from Sam Blakeman for weeks. And now that the truth is finally out, it set off a chain reaction that could change absolutely everything for one of Weatherfield's most fragile young characters. If you thought Megan Walsh's reign of terror on Coronation Street was already dark, what Sam has just discovered takes this storyline somewhere even more shocking, and fans across social media are reeling. Welcome back to the channel, because today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about storylines currently gripping Coronation Street. This is the tale of Sam Blakeman, Megan Walsh, and a devastating cover-up that has finally unraveled, and the consequences are only just beginning to show. For anyone who hasn't been following every twist and turn on the cobbles, let's rewind and set the scene, because this storyline has been building for months, and it's become one of the most sensitive and serious the show has tackled in years. Megan Walsh, played with chilling precision by Beth Nixon, arrived in Weatherfield posing as a supportive sports coach and mentor to teenager Will Driscoll, portrayed by Lucas Hodgson-Wale. What looked at first like guidance and encouragement slowly revealed itself to be something far more sinister, a calculated, manipulative grooming campaign against a vulnerable schoolboy. It's a storyline Coronation Street has developed with support from the child protection charity Barnardo's, underlining just how seriously the show has treated the subject matter. Caught in the middle of all this was Sam Blakeman, played by Jude Reardon, Will's close friend and one of the sharpest kids on the street. Sam was the first person to sense that something was deeply wrong between Megan and Will. He noticed the secrecy, the strange dynamic, the way Will seemed to be pulled further and further under Megan's influence. And when Sam started asking questions and voicing his suspicions, Megan didn't just brush him off, she turned on him. Determined to protect herself and keep her secret buried, Megan set out to systematically destroy Sam's credibility, targeting his academic future and chipping away at his confidence until the poor lad was left reeling. The pressure became so unbearable that Sam eventually turned to unprescribed Ritalin just to try to cope, a decision that spiraled into a serious health crisis. Viewers watched in horror as Sam collapsed on the cobbles, later suffering hallucinations so vivid that an imagined version of Roy Cropper appeared to him, whispering lies and even encouraging him toward violence against Will. It was heart-wrenching television, and it landed Sam in a mental health unit, fighting to hold on to his grip on reality, while the person responsible for his suffering, Megan, was still walking free and awaiting trial. Now, here's where the latest chapter of this story kicks in, and it's the part that has fans absolutely gripped. As Megan's long-awaited trial finally got underway in Weatherfield, Sam, recovering in hospital and preparing for discharge, insisted that he wanted to attend court himself. He believed that facing what happened head-on, seeing justice done with his own eyes, would help him finally move forward. But his dad, Nick Tilsley, terrified of what the emotional weight of a courtroom might do to his son's fragile recovery, made an agonizing decision. Rather than risk Sam's mental health by exposing him to the reality of the trial, Nick chose to lie. He told Sam that everything in court had gone smoothly, hoping to shield him from the stress until he was strong enough to handle the truth. For a little while, the deception held. But cover-ups on Coronation Street never last, do they? When Hope Dobbs visited Sam in the mental health unit, and he pressed her for details about the trial, she visibly struggled to keep up the pretense. Her hesitation and discomfort were the cracks Sam needed to see through the lie. Sensing that something was being kept from him, Sam pushed harder, and eventually the truth came spilling out. Nick and Toya had been lying to him the entire time about what was actually happening in that courtroom. And that discovery hit Sam like a train. This wasn't just about the trial anymore. It was about trust. After everything Sam had been through, the manipulation, the paranoia, the hallucinations telling him he couldn't believe what people were saying to him, finding out that his own father had been feeding him a false version of events was a betrayal that cut incredibly deep. Furious and hurt, Sam confronted Nick and Toya directly, demanding to know why they thought it was acceptable to deceive him at the exact moment he needed honesty the most. And what makes this twist so powerful is the timing. Sam had spent weeks consumed by one specific fear: that Megan would be found not guilty, walk free from that courtroom, and come looking for revenge against the boy who first exposed her. That fear had fueled his paranoia and his breakdown. So discovering that his family had hidden the actual outcome from him wasn't just an insult to his intelligence. It reopened every one of those anxieties at once. Was Megan free? Was she coming for him? Sam had no way of knowing what was true anymore, and that uncertainty is arguably more dangerous for someone in his mental state than the truth itself, however painful that truth might be. As for what that truth actually turned out to be, the trial itself delivered plenty of drama before reaching its conclusion. Megan's mother, Janine, arrived in Weatherfield hoping to support her daughter, only to be turned away by the Driscoll family, who wanted nothing to do with her. Megan, ever the manipulator, spun her mother a story painting herself as the real victim, claiming Will had taken advantage of her. In court, she doubled down on that performance, presenting herself as an innocent party and even attacking Ben Driscoll's parenting under cross-examination, suggesting Will had been driven to their relationship by pressure at home. It was a gut-wrenching watch for the Driscoll family, and Ben's own appearance on the stand saw him lose his composure under the strain. But the turning point came from Will himself. After initially struggling to speak his truth in front of Megan, he made the brave decision to return to the witness box and lay everything out plainly, detailing the manipulation and abuse he'd suffered without holding back. That testimony proved decisive. The jury delivered a guilty verdict on both counts against Megan, inciting a child to engage in sexual activity, and doing so while in a position of trust. The judge handed down a 5-year prison sentence, with Megan required to serve at least 2/3 of that time behind bars. Far from accepting the outcome quietly, Megan reacted with fury, branding Will a liar as she was led away, before turning to her devastated mother and begging her to do something to protect her once she was inside prison. It was a dramatic, emotional close to one of the show's most difficult storylines in recent memory, and for the Driscoll family, it finally felt like justice had been done. Naturally, this has all sent fans into overdrive online. Social media has been full of viewers praising Jude Riordan's performance as Sam, with many calling it some of the most powerful acting they've seen from a young cast member in years. There's also been a huge wave of support for how sensitively the show has handled the abuse storyline overall, with plenty of viewers thanking Coronation Street for tackling grooming and its psychological fallout with real care rather than shying away from the difficult details. At the same time, there's growing concern in the fan community about what comes next for Sam. Plenty of viewers are worried that even with Megan behind bars, the damage she inflicted on him isn't simply going to disappear overnight. Some fans have even floated theories connecting Sam's ongoing paranoia to other unresolved mysteries on the street, though the show has given no confirmation of that. So what does all this mean going forward? For Megan, this appears to be the definitive end of the road as a character, with her prison sentence effectively closing the door on her time in Weatherfield, at least for now. For Will, it likely marks the beginning of a long healing process, now that the person who manipulated him is finally facing consequences. But it's Sam who remains the most compelling thread here. Discovering that his own family lied to him, even with good intentions, adds a painful new layer to his recovery. Trust is clearly going to be a major theme for him moving forward, and viewers will be watching closely to see whether this revelation pushes him toward healing or deeper into the anxiety that's already taken such a toll on him. There's also real curiosity about how Nick and Toya will repair their relationship with Sam after admitting they weren't honest with him, and whether that broken trust becomes its own ongoing storyline. So to sum it all up, Sam Blakeman finally uncovered the truth his family had been hiding from him. That Megan Walsh's trial had already concluded, and concluded with a guilty verdict and a 5-year prison sentence. But the real twist isn't just the verdict itself, it's what the deception around it has done to Sam, a young man already teetering on the edge after everything Megan put him through. With trust shattered and his recovery far from complete, this storyline is clearly far from over. What do you think about this shocking development? Do you believe Nick and Toya were right to protect Sam with a lie, or should they have told him the truth from the start? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another Coronation Street update. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.